every year we've whined about, no, this year's crap, taking me back to like, there's like that.
Fuck, do you remember 2016?
2016, yeah, like there's that joke, it's like,
damn you, 2016.
yeah, and it's just like, we didn't know how fucking good we had it, did we? Like, it's like 2020 went out. You want to see some real shit?
Hi, I'm Andrew Trendle. You're watching NME, and we're here with Oli Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon.
Hello.
Socially distanced interview. Can you hear me over there?
I can.
I mean, like, how does it feel to be releasing music at a time like this? Well, this is a surreal question because this album kind of exists because of the times, right?
Mm-hmm. To be honest, it's been like, I don't know what we'd have done, or I don't know what I'd have done if it weren't for like being able to carry on and make music. Like for the last 15 years of my life, I've been out on tour and been like away from home, and I think that kept me, you know, I've had my ups and downs, but I think for the most part that kept me like sane. Being at home and just not having nothing to do, which, you know, was nice at first. You know, it's something that I've been longing for, but then very quickly you're just like, fuck, like what is my purpose on this planet if not touring, do you know what I mean? And I think being able to still write music and stuff is just the one thing that's like kept me relatively sane.
You miss like waking up the tiny cubicle of the bus, having a really small shower, shouting at your tour manager.
Miss it all. It's mental. I never, you know, I think I got to a place where I just took it for granted, you know what I mean? And like, I used to just worry about like not seeing my family enough and stuff like that. And that's what grass is always greener situation, but like, and then that's what lockdown was great for, getting to like, you know, my parents came and lived with me for 3 months and getting to reconnect and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like, there was a point where I used to be like, oh, fucking hell, I've got to go on tour. Like, and now I'm like, man, I would play anywhere.
Get me out the house.
Yeah, just give me a gig.
So you lived with your mum and dad for 3 months? I'm just like,
yeah, they
nice.
came and stayed at my house. It was cool. It made the whole thing more feel like, you know, obviously not a nice time in terms of what was happening on the planet, but, you know, getting to just, you know, it was almost like an extended Christmas holiday. And it was cool. I think we all kept each other going. We all started like intermittent fasting, and we got really healthy and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, rather than like, I think it was just like the opposite would be like drinking every night and just going down a very bad path. So it was nice. It was really cool. Like, I'm really close with my parents anyway, so it was just, you know, 3 months was a long time, but it wasn't too bad.
So in a sense, do you feel quite like cleansed and rerouted, and like you've hit a reset button in a way?
In some aspects it's been like harder. I think like I think when you got all the time in the world, I think it's easy for like bad habits and, you know, shit to come, like the worst aspects of yourself to come back to light. You know what I mean? Like I said, with touring and stuff, I think it kept those things at bay. Whereas, you know, having all that time, it was definitely much more of a struggle to cope with certain things. We realised that our society is not really geared up for like how to, you know, cope with things like this. Do you know what I mean? Like the system we've made, when the machine's like pumping, it works. But if something like a virus or something comes and stops it fucks everything up. And I think on a human level, that's what it's like for me. And probably for a lot of people, it's like, you know, maybe some people, their relationships work when they're doing their thing, everyone's working, when everyone's put into a room together and that's it. It's like, all these problems come to light. With me, it's like, shit, I've got to work on myself a little bit more now because I haven't got that to fall back on. And again, it's like, I want to be okay when shit goes south, you know what I mean? You need to be able to know who you are and what you want from life and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, so in a way it's been not a reset, but it's definitely been a time to like reflect and focus on who you are.
So you've kind of had your will reinforced in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, would you say the past 6 months have kind of affected relations in the band? I mean, when was the last time you were in a room together?
We haven't been in a room together as a band since probably like the last time we toured.
Wow.
Or Brit Awards maybe. I mean, the last time I saw everyone was probably when we filmed Parasite Eve, and that we did that because it was like in, you know, coming out of lockdown, but everyone still had to keep the distance, so we did it everyone one by one, and then Vegan was obviously in America, so we had to do that over Skype. But yeah, I haven't seen like, I mean, I've been on phone with Jordan nearly every day because we've been writing, but apart from that, like, we haven't been like the same room, which is super weird because we're about to release an album that's, we haven't even been in the same room to write it, let alone play it, play it on instruments or anything. It's kind of fucking crazy, really.
In that sense, you kind of feel more connected because you're like forcing yourself to communicate.
Yeah, gives you a reason to, for sure. And obviously we still talk, everyone talks and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just been weird because I think we were so used to like we saw each other so much from touring that weren't always enough. We never really speak outside, not purposely, but it's like we get our fill of each other. So when we get off tour, it's like we spend time with our family. We don't need to come and hang out or see each other. So it's like, now it's a bit weird because it's like, oh fuck, we haven't seen each other for fucking months. So it feels a little strange.
I mean, in light of everything that's happened in terms of relationships with the band and what it means to be on the road and what it means for the society and the environment, how do you feel about the idea of going on tour again?
I think like everything is probably going to have to change. Probably touring's going to have to change and shows are going to have to change. How that will be, I don't know. The problem for us is it's like our shows depend on like, they thrive off that energy. What you're not going to get if everyone's stood on a boxed like segment. We need bodies in rooms. We need everyone to get together and connect and mosh and jump. And I think that first show is going to hit so differently, when people come back and they actually get to stand in a room and hear live music. It's just going to be just a different emotion. I think it'd be cool to, like I was talking to you earlier about trying to change how shows work and, trying to think out of the box and how we could do stuff that has got less ego in it as well as using less resources and stuff like that. But I think at first it's just getting back to basics.
So in terms of sharing the less ego, do you mean like sharing the space more and making it more of a communal thing?
Yeah, like trying to take the focus more off of like who's headlining, whose logo's the biggest, who gets what production, who gets this and that, and trying to make a space where it's like everyone on that tour gets the same, like there's no headliners, there's, everyone shares the production, so everyone gets sick production, everyone gets this sick, we build a world, could be some fucking medieval fairy tale land, it could be some cyber world, but it's like, it's this vibe that you come to and everyone gets their own take on that, everyone puts their own content and their own shit into it. I mean, I don't know, I'm literally riffing, but like something where not every band has to take fucking, 5 trucks all around Europe and America and whatever else. Like everyone, we bring those resources right down and also like, try and just take that bullshit out of it because there's just so much bullshit and like you can get caught up in when you're writing music, whether you're trying to get number one or you're trying to win an award for something or, all that stuff just takes the focus off what it's actually about. It's just about like the music, it's about the fans, it's just about connection and that cathartic experience. It doesn't really fucking matter who's playing last or who has the most fireworks or, who sold the most records. It's like, might be a bit of a pie in the sky idea, but it'd be cool to try and push forward and try and just change it a bit, try and break the mold a little bit.
Yeah. And that sense of community would be cool because when you did All Points East at Vicky Park last year, you could have just expected a day of metal, but it was the different shades of colour from the Bring Me the Horizon Willows, RTJ and all this stuff. When you had it all in front of you, it made sense. Yeah.
I think it's just like, I think for us, we've got to be more inclusive of other, like, there's not enough Bring Me the Horizons to just come and like Bring Me the Horizon and be satisfied, you know what I mean? You've got to kind of broaden your palette a little bit and, stop seeing like other kinds of music as the enemy. If you're into like heavy music, there's not that much to go off, you know what I mean? In terms of like current acts and stuff like that. So it's like, I think for us, we want to just try and influence people to be a bit more like, to experience some different stuff because there's hip hop artists and stuff out there that hit harder than, metal artists, there's all, you can, and it's, a lot of times you don't really realise that until you see it live, do you know what I mean? You can listen to some artists, like grime and stuff, it's not something that I would listen to, but you see it live and it's completely different and it makes you get it.
And in terms of kind of the different shades of your tastes and metal not being where you want it to be, what are you listening to at the moment?
Like Nova Twins, probably like favourite artist I found out about this year. Like I've been listening to their record like loads. Aside from that, it's very much just like whatever my Spotify tells me, like Discover Weekly, which obviously just feeds off. And it's all very much like weird electronic shit, like Arca or doing Candor and like a lot of female fronted stuff. I like a lot of like the kind of new pop artists that are coming out. But yeah, it's just kind of whatever my Spotify kicks out at me.
We had some Bjork playing during the shoot. Was that your choice?
Yeah, that's my wife's favourite artist. So I listen to her all the time just as a side. I went to see her actually last year in Amsterdam. No, Copenhagen, sorry. It was proper. She's like so inspirational. Yeah. It's one of them that you can either go and watch and makes you want to give up or try harder. But it does one of them. It's just, she's so sick.
Sometime on this campaign, you're going to get asked this question about headlining festivals and headlining Reading and headlining Glastonbury. I mean, I'm just going to do it now. I mean, does it ever play, now that you're kind of over the bullshit game, I mean, do you still give a fuck about stepping up and headlining Reading or being at Download or like topping your Glastonbury experience? Yeah,
of course. It'd be amazing. But again, it's just like, I don't want to be doing a festival if the promoters are like, oh, it could be good, but maybe not. And I feel that's where our band is, you know what I mean? We're like, yeah, we're doing well, we're doing good and stuff, but we're not, I don't want to be going and playing a festival unless they're like, we need this band to headline Reading or Download or whatever. I don't want them to be like, oh yeah, well, so-and-so can't do it, or, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't think our band is that big where it's just like it's a no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? I think I want it to be a no-brainer, and I think the way we do that is just by carrying on doing what we do, and and if that time comes, great. But if not, it's can't let it dictate. I think there's been moments in our career where we've not that specifically, but maybe thinking like, oh, what happens if we got this big, and letting that dictate what kind of music we were trying to write or what we were doing. Oh, fuck that, like it's just not worth it. It's like I just want to be stoked on what I'm making and be excited by it, and I've kind of got to a point where that's just like enough for me.
Are there any kind of like clear set concrete goals left in your mind, like bucket list things, like, oh shit, that would be cool, or is it just taking it year by year?
No, not really. I think I used to have those kind of things, but it's just pointless because I think as humans, you could complete your bucket list, you wouldn't be ready to die, you'd want more. And it's just like, I think I learned that when we played Wembley, Wembley Arena. It's like, I used to think, imagine if our band got so big we played Wembley Arena, I'd be set for life, I'd be happy. You do that and you're like, all right, what's next? You're never satisfied as a human. We all have this like, just bottomless pit inside us that just has to keep feeding, and that's life. There's no destination or whatever, that's what they're saying, it's all about the journey. Whatever we achieved, it just be like, all right, what's next? You know what I mean? So it's kind of pointless even having that. I think you just got to try and live in the now and just be like stoked on what you're doing.
And who fucking knows what's going to happen next year?
Yeah, could be real bad.
You got a good feeling about 2021 or no feeling at all?
I think again, I'm literally just really trying to practice and like just living in today and being happy what you got, because it's like every year we've whined about no, this year's crap, taking me back to like there's like that.
Fuck, do you remember 2016?
2016, yeah. Like there's that joke, it's like,
damn you 2016.
Yeah. And it's just like, we didn't know how fucking good we had it, did we? Like it's like 2021. Do you want to see some real shit? And again, it's just like, maybe next year it'll be fucking even worse. And like, we don't know how good we had 2020. I'm in a very fortunate position. Our band's, doing really well despite not being able to tour. We're putting music out, people are listening to it. It's, I'm here doing interviews and getting to connect with people, and so it's just trying to be like real thankful for what you've got. It's hard for us because it's like our future's so uncertain. So is everyone's, you know what I mean? But like for me, like when people say like touring and stuff, it just seems like it's never going to happen. Because it's just like fuck, when is that actually going to happen? But like I say, when it does, it's going to hit so much harder than it ever did, because everyone's going to be like, fuck, I missed this. So yeah, I'm excited for those shows if they happen.
They will. They will.
Please buy tickets.
On sale 9 a.m. Always on 9 a.m. on Friday, so yeah. Link down there. But we'll be there, man. Oli, thank you so much for your time, bud.
Nice one, bro.
Cheers.